So this first clip I'm going to play you shows how some people in Madrid responded to the power cut. First thing, sort your food and water. I mean, the shelves ran empty within hours. And if your husband is out there in the local square, holding hands, singing Imagine All the People. Imagine all the people starving, cannibalizing each other in a week. Useless. 冇撚用啊. That's what we Cantonese would say. No dickin' use. That husband of yours. Yesterday, I posted a video on the power cuts in Spain and Portugal. And I looked in that video at the various theories on who or what was behind them, starting with the more conspiratorial takes that this was the nefarious actions of our overlords, something that they are deliberately doing to us and plan to do more of. And the other side of the coin, that these are solar events that we as humans have no control over. And more specifically, that we are in the midst of solar cycle 25, which peaks in July, resulting in increased magnetic activity, solar flares, coronal ejections that could take out the power grid. So you can hear all about that in the video I posted yesterday, which I'll link to the end of this one. But I did leave out the official explanation, which well, actually, it's probably not the official explanation. It's something that I saw in the Telegraph, which is a conservative newspaper, so it's the right-wing explanation. Because nowadays there's a left-wing explanation and a right-wing explanation for every phenomenon, and they're totally different, aren't they? So the Telegraph was saying that this was due to the failings of our green energy system. That aspect of it, which I didn't mention, but I think is quite interesting, is that this event has, I think it's put the heebie-jeebies in some people who were all gung-ho about moving forwards into this the new age of digital currency and AI automation for everything. And, you know, as we go along, we're more and more reliant on these technologies and potentially less capable of functioning independently as humans without these technologies. So what happens when they crash? When everything is controlled by AI automation and all of our interactions to buy food and water and all of our necessities require a network connection. So yeah, this I think has kind of alerted a lot of people to the potential downsides of moving towards this, what they call the Great Reset or the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And it also made me ask about our preparedness, that surely our governments should be prepared for these kinds of things. You know, with, for example, the fact that water was a concern, that we don't have a backup water generation system in place. They can send all our money overseas to fund foreign conflicts, but leave stuff like this neglected. So yeah, I think in some ways this event was a wake-up call, because thankfully it didn't last too long. But if it were to go on for days, or they said initially they predicted a week, right? In the video that I posted yesterday, I stitched a clip from, I suppose you would call him, people would, I don't like the term a right-wing conspiracy theorist or a tinfoil hat wearer, because I am one myself, right? But there's degrees, right? And I'm just, actually no, I'm pretty far along. I mean, I believe in the Galactic Federation. So yeah, I'm pretty far on that scale. But in that video, the guy talked about how in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks, 94% of the population will be dead. If you want to know why, again, watch the video. I'm not going to repeat everything he said here. But I'm not going to play you a clip showing the flip side of this, because while those of us who are more conspiratorially minded were freaking out about this, there were a whole bunch of other people who were celebrating it. So this first clip I'm going to play you shows how people in Madrid, some people in Madrid, responded to the power cut. So my initial reaction to this is that it's beautiful and life-affirming, but at the same time, it's a little bit concerning. There's something a little bit dystopian about it. First of all, I think what these people are celebrating is basically a day off work. They got depressing jobs that they hate that pay them a pittance for their time. Or some of them maybe are in university and they hate their courses. So they're just celebrating that they have a day off. I don't think it's any deeper than that. Looking at these people, I think they're total normies. Sorry to judge them all, but do you know what I mean? I don't think they're celebrating a return to nature as the way these clips are kind of being portrayed. That, you know, I agree that in the last couple of decades, our society has become so digitally oriented, where we live, especially the younger you get, the more people live online, and this has been detrimental to human connection. So yeah, there is something beautiful about returning to basically like how life was for us lot. Us Gen Xers. I was born in 1972. You know, if you were to shut down the matrix, the digital matrix for a day, people would be forced to return to simple pleasures. And that's fine for a day. I mean, it would be lovely if we could live like that permanently, like how we used to when we were kids, playing out on the street, riding around in our bicycle gangs, finding creative ways to pass our time. We used our imagination, right? We did a lot of role play when we were kids, didn't we? Kids don't role play today anymore. They just watch stuff on their screen. They are entertained by content that other people have made for them without engaging any of their own imagination. So it's a totally passive activity. But we had to make up our own adventures, didn't we? Right? I was with my brother who's a year and a half older than me. We used to watch these anime programs. They were like transformer type, robot type thing. I can't remember what their names were, but this was big in our childhood. I suppose they still exist, these programs, and they're still popular, but I've grown up from that. But yeah, I was like the female character who had to be rescued from the quicksand by my brother all the time. Back in the 70s, we always got stuck in quicksand, didn't we? Some of you watching this probably don't even know what quicksand is, right? But it was a big thing. It was one of the biggest fears among Gen X children in the 70s was quicksand, that you'd be going through the jungle on a mission and then you get stuck in quicksand, and it's like this muddy, wet, sort of squelching sand that sucks you in, and it drowns you because you can't get out. So yeah, my brother was always having to rescue me because I was the useless woman character and he was the strong man, and that kind of explains why I turned out the way I did today. But yeah, God, what a tangent. So we had to use our imagination as kids. So yeah, there is something beautiful about returning to that. But that's beautiful for a day or two until you have to start cannibalizing each other because there's no more food and water. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there was something kind of laughable about it, because it reminded me also of how in China during the initial lockdown in Wuhan, the first day or two, everybody was celebrating. I remember seeing videos on TikTok of people in their high-rises, locked in, really happy that they didn't have to go to work or go to school, and they were like,
Venga, venga, fuera! Okay. Venga!
You remember the video, I don't know if you saw the videos of kids doing dances in their window for the people in the high-rise block opposite, which it was really cute, but it was kind of dystopian as well. And then a couple of weeks in, they were all screaming in agony and despair after being locked in for 2 weeks. And then it just went on and on, didn't it? I mean, I don't know if those videos, the screaming ones, were real, because it's so hard to believe what you see coming out of my motherland, isn't it? And, you know, there's that term, the Wuhan flop. Have you heard that term? That the whole thing was just staged? All those people collapsing on the street? I don't know. Like, I was one of the first people who fell for it back in January 2020, December 2019, January 2020. I was like, shit, there's something serious going on, and everybody's ignoring it. And I was really concerned. I was so alarmed, and I was making all kinds of posts that was getting shadow banned, trying to alert people that this was serious, and you know, all those elderly people collapsing on the street. And then when the rest of society caught up and realized that this was a pandemic, I'd moved on. I was like, nah, I'm not buying it. Something doesn't add up. I'm always a step ahead of the crowd, to my detriment, because then I'm always considered crazy. I mean, I was the first one wearing a face mask in my neighborhood in January 2020, when everyone was like, oh, it's just a flu. And then when the government put in the mask mandate, I'd stopped wearing mine already, because like, no, it's not adding up. yeah, so it doesn't help to be ahead of the curve. It really doesn't. But well, it helps you, it helped me in my survival, but it doesn't help in your acceptance in society. But yeah, what do you think of the Wuhan flop? Did any of you guys get really caught up in all that footage in January 2020 and even earlier? Because, see, I have a conspiracy that I believe that what was happening in Wuhan wasn't anything to do with COVID. I'm hesitant to say what I think because I've lost numerous accounts. I've been shadow banned, I've been deplatformed for talking about what I really believed at the time and during the course of 2020 and 2021. And there are some things that to this day we're still not allowed to talk about what really went down in Wuhan. If you know, you know. Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. There was something they were doing which started in October 2019. Let's leave it at that. I can't lose another account. But yeah, so these people dancing in the street, they also remind me of, I mentioned this in another video, where when China was, there were multiple cities that were underwater because they have annual floods there that are quite serious. And when there was something that happened, again, I can't go into too much detail because this was censored by the government, so we shouldn't really talk about it. But there was a horrible catastrophe involving a tunnel and lots of cars during the floods. I'm just gonna leave it there. And there was a lot of tragedy at the time in multiple megacities. And the China People's Daily posted a picture of the mist over the river. A river that busted its banks and flooded, but they posted a picture of the beautiful mist over the river, and there was no mention of anything else that was going on at the time. So I feel that these videos of people dancing during the power outage, they're kind of like the mist over the river. Except in this case, it wasn't anything catastrophic, but it's the fact that it could have been. And it's the fact that we should be taking this as a warning of what could happen. And this is what a lot of the conspiracy theorists are saying, that this is like a rehearsal for something much bigger that could affect any of us where we live. And if you're not prepared, there will be consequences. So yeah, there's two types of people, isn't it? Some people are always prepared because they plan for the future and they're warriors. And you can go overboard with it. You could drive yourself insane if you're, some of us conspiracy theorists are bonkers because everything is a threat. And you have to prepare for all of them. But then there's also a comfort in being prepared, because when it happens, you're like, I knew it. And you're chill, you've accepted that it was coming. We've been waiting, we're waiting for these things to happen. So yeah, and then there's the other people, the ones who are out dancing, who live in the moment. So instead of worrying about what if this power cut goes on for a week or longer, they're just living for the moment, living in the moment, which is a beautiful thing. Spiritualists always say that we need to learn to live in the moment, and I agree with that. I try to live in the moment. I'm like that. I do a bit of both, right? But if you're somebody who totally lives in the moment, you have faith. You have faith that things will be fine, and if not, if the power cut does go on, you'll deal with it as and when. But it probably will be sorted by tomorrow. And so those people they don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy, like Bobby McFerrin said. But yeah, that's fine. It's fine to be like that if you've got a cupboard full of food and water and supplies, right? If not, you're living in cloud cuckoo land. And that's what I think these people are, right? When I look at the people in this video, they're total normies. I doubt that they're conspiratorial tinfoil hat wearing preppers like me. They're normies, right? You can tell when you look at them. Sorry to judge them once again if any of you are in one of those pictures or you know one of those people. But yeah, me, like, I'm prepped. And so I would also be out there chilling. But I'm prepped because I'm crazy. And, you know, people treat you like you're crazy if you expect that these things are going to happen. But when the time comes, look who's laughing, huh? I've got another video actually, which I'll play you. So the first one was what happened in Madrid. Now this one is in Valencia. And similar, these people are out dancing because they have the day off. Apparently, this was the scene in Valencia during the power cut. But I'm not sure if it's real because, you know, there's a whole load of TikTok opportunists who put like fake videos out there that this could have been just like some festival or something, right? Or there could have been a band playing on an ordinary Saturday on a sunny summer afternoon. I don't know. If there's anyone who was actually there who can confirm, is this real? Did this really happen during the power cut? I'd be interested to know. But either way, let's assume it is real. So say you're married with kids, say you're a woman and you're married with kids and your husband is out there dancing during the power cut and you're at home with the kids. Imagine if he comes home and you're like, oh, have you sorted out the food and the water? And he's like, oh no, I was out playing ping pong. I was dancing all day. Oh, I forgot we had kids to feed. I didn't sort their food and water for the next week. Can you imagine? Leave him, that would be my advice. He's no use to you. He is not the protector that you need. Like imagine if the power cut really was to go on for a week, as they had predicted, the first thing, if he hadn't already been smart enough to be prepped, which 99% of people are not, first thing, sort your food and water. I mean, the shelves ran empty within hours. And if your husband is out there in the local square, holding hands, singing Imagine All the People. Imagine all the people starving, cannibalizing each other in a week. Useless.冇撚用啊. That's what we Cantonese would say. No dickin' use. That husband of yours. And imagine 1 or 2 weeks on, you as the mum can be out there trying to hunt the next meal for your kids while he's singing We Are the World. Anyway, what type of person are you? Are you the worrier? The one who always has a plan and thinks about the future, worries about what if? Or are you the type who lives in the moment and trusts that God will sort it? As I said earlier on, I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I'm aware and I'm prepped, and that's why I'm chill. So when the time comes, I'm like coasting, and just finally the time that I've prepped for has come. All this money that I've spent preparing, it's not gone to waste. So it pays to be prepared. And also, I also have faith as well, like faith that I will be fine. But you're not fine just for doing nothing and having your head in the clouds. You're fine because you're smart enough to do what you need to do when you need to do it, so that when the shit hits the fan, you're fine and sorted and chill. Yeah, so the lesson, it's the same as people who live in earthquake zones. Someone commented in one of my previous videos that they live in an earthquake zone, and they're always prepared with food and water and emergency supplies. So you should be, everyone, especially if you have a family. If there's any dads out there watching this, protectors, take a word from this man and prepare your family. That is your duty. When you made those kids, you took on a responsibility. See, it pays to watch my videos, doesn't it? She will love you forever when she realizes what a man you are, that you have provisioned for the safety and well-being of your family before going out playing ping pong and singing songs. Right? Do you agree with me? Or do you not? Do you think that I'm a crazed tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist? Let me know either way. And do give this video a like. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications, because all these little things make a huge difference to me as a new YouTuber. Thank you so much.